Thank you, everyone, for joining us for another episode of Circle of the Earth Fellowship. Excited that you're here with us, and excited that you are. Love to get into this topic, and as you saw from the trailer, we are going to be talking about deceit. But like we always do, we're going to go ahead and say hello to everyone who's on the panel, and then we'll go ahead and get into all our topics today. So let's go ahead and jump off with our first brother, Frankie B. How you doing? And yes, I did not forget this time. You are good to go.
Am I live? Am I live? Check 1, 2. Sound check.
Yeah.
Hey, your microphone is super loud.
What? Yours is.
Mine is?
Well, it's nobody's super loud, but you're.
All right.
Anyways, yeah,
All right,
we're good to go.
Hey, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It's dark where I'm at, so it is officially Shabbat Shalom. I hope everybody had a great week. Me and Nick got a big show tomorrow. Putting on we've been invited to a festival. So it's actually called Sin Stock 6. So, but the name of the band hosting it is Strength in Numbers. My friends I grew up with, they love the whole edgy thing of, sin. So, yeah, but we're Strength in Numbers. I'm the bass player in the band. But me and Nick, Born Out of Time, has a 3:40 slot. Nick will be streaming that on Instagram.
No.
You're going to be streaming it, right?
I'm going to be recording it to do it high quality for later, but I'll explain later.
You're not going to stream it live?
Yeah, no, I'm not. But keep going. Let's just do the intros.
All right, yeah. So, Nick, we'll put up in Discord when we go live, when he puts it live, when he broadcasts it. All right, so hope everybody's excited about the show. I'll turn it back over to Vader.
Sweet, yeah, thanks, brother. And we'll jump over to Marsha. How you doing, sister?
Shalom. It's not Shabbat yet, and I'm glad to see everybody here, and glad we're going to have a full panel, right?
Yeah, and we have quite a bit of exciting topics to go over, and Nick has some stuff he's going to share. Everyone has a little bit that they're going to share, so I'm excited for that. And speaking of which, let's say hello to Nick. How you doing, brother? Shalom.
Hey, I'm really good. Good to be here with everyone. And yeah, we're not going to be live streaming on Instagram. We'll either live stream it on YouTube or just record it to upload to YouTube for later. I got to look into that for quality reasons, but I'm not going to waste the rest of the intro on that. But yeah, I'm really excited for this topic tonight. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Speak up, Nick.
Yeah, absolutely. I can hear him fine. If others
Really?
are having issues, you might have him manually changed. But hopefully we're all sounding good and everyone can hear us. But yeah, I'm glad you're all here. We're going to do a little housekeeping before we get into the topic. So first off, I just want to shout out to, we did get a new subscriber, so 572. We're slowly climbing, but we do appreciate all those who have subscribed. But our newest one is, and I hope I'm pronouncing this right, is Aster80. So welcome to the welcome to the community, to the family. I'm glad that you're here, and I hope you get to learn some stuff from us. And if you're ever interested in sharing your pieces, obviously feel free to do so. And that goes off to everyone. So if you don't know, we do. Let's get rid of this and pull this up for y'all. So we do. We do still have that open invite to anyone that would like to join the show. So the best way of doing that would be going to our Discord. Now, there is a link in the description below. But if you go to this, or if you click in the link in the description of the video, that will bring you to our Discord. Now, if you have joined the Discord before, this is actually a new Discord. So Make sure that you've joined the new one, the Circle of the Earth Fellowship. It'll have all the same kind of iconography and stuff, all the same symbols and logos, etc. So check us out there. And then, of course, I want to take some time and shout out Take on the World. They let us stream over there on their platform too. So it really means a lot to us that we get to share our puzzle pieces with their family as well. So anyways, that's all I wanted to share for now. So we'll go ahead and start getting into the topic. As you can see, I have a lot of tabs open because I have a lot of stuff that we're going to share. But we're going to kind of do this in an order so that everyone gets to share. Nick works late and is typically very sleepy now. So I'm going to actually throw it to Nick first. But before I would do that, what I'm trying to kind of talk about is, last episode we talked about Ezekiel, and we talked about the things that he saw and the prophecies, or the things that he went through, the things that he had to endure, and the things he had to overcome. But also, we also mentioned how because of their situation, you have all the people of Israel spread out through all the nations, and all of these nations are practicing in the behaviors, in the same behaviors that got them into that mess in the first place. So now they don't have their own country, and they're being forced to follow these ways in part. So to that degree, we are going through very similar things. We don't have our own country as believers, as people who want to be obedient to the Father. And so we're spread out throughout all the nations in our, there are pockets here and there, right? But we have to go to these online places, these online churches, if you will, to fellowship and learn and to grow. So we're spread apart, and we are also besieged on all sides, just like the people during Jeremiah's time, of enemies on all sides. But luckily we have a very merciful, loving, protecting Father, and he obviously watches over us. But we have to kind of get through a lot of deceit, and I've said this again, and I said this before, and I'll say it again. There's no obstacle that's gonna stop someone truly seeking the truth. There's no red herring. There's no hole that if they're earnestly seeking the truth, that the Father won't guide them through. So with that in case, we're gonna talk about some things in our lives that we've seen or have been or learned, that we kind of came back to later on in life and realized that it was a part of the enemy's deceit. So first off, I'm going to throw it over to Nick, and I'll share on screen what you showed, and then we can kind of talk about that and have a conversation. And then we're gonna move on to the next one. So, Nick, if you would take over.
So I gladly would, and guys, interrupt me if I'm coming in too low, and I'll try to adjust it. But what I picked to answer Vader's question was this whole concept of black holes, and in terms of black holes being in space. And it makes me think of when I was like a child, hearing about black holes, and there are these unstoppable forces out there just sucking up matter, and they're way far away, but they're really powerful. And then the movies and stuff showing them, and like this was like deeply traumatizing for me. And a lot of stuff actually related to space was very like traumatizing, disorienting. And that's why stuff like, biblical cosmology, flat earth, dismantling all this fake space stuff, it's just not really like a quote unquote secondary issue for me, as like some would call it. Like, I actually know, I think it's very important to really tell people about these things and have them make up their own mind. But yeah, black holes, we're told that they're out there and they're part of the universe, but then come to find out, no, that's not true. God didn't make this crazy, solar system of galaxies and spinning planets and, a whole spinning Earth that we're on. It's just not true at all. It's a firm, flat, motionless Earth, which is not even spiritually discerned. You can figure this out logically through measurement and whatnot. And we don't know about all of what's above us, but we definitely know that we are not spinning, and it's firm and it's flat, et cetera and so forth. So yeah, and that's really adjacent to this fake lie about black holes existing, and then I think about like comets and meteors and all this stuff. It's like, no, it's nonsense. So yeah, that's when I found out that was made up, and I'm specifically talking about the link which I gave Vader, where
and just real quick, just for the other panel members, I'm sharing screen. So if you want to see what the stream is seeing, just click that, and you should be able to see that in a window, just so you can again see what they see. But yeah, I have that up here, and I'm just gonna read it. It says this the misconception that there is no sound in space originates because most of space is a vacuum, providing no way for sound waves to travel. A galaxy cluster has so much gas that we picked up actual sound. Here it's amplified and mixed with other data to hear a black hole. Okay, here you go, guys. This is the sound of a black hole. Okay, so this is a black hole, and I just want to say something real quick, Nick. So they say here, hey, this galaxy cluster actually has gas, enough gas that we could pick up actual sound. Okay, so they're picking up actual sound, but how are they then transferring that sound back through open space to Earth to be able to have that recording?
Right. Right. Yeah. I didn't even listen to. Yeah, that's a really good point. I didn't listen to that noise because I know, and now I just listened to it just now because I know like the people behind this are into some really dark stuff. So I try to like not like actually even like look at it or listen to it.
I feel you.
Yeah, but it's just like listen to it. It's like, yeah, this is just I don't know. It's really important that people know where they are and the nature of the world they're in. It's not about knowing about all of it or figuring out all of it, but start with the fact that this is, a created realm. It just shatters the whole evolution thing. Just summarily dismantles evolution, and it'll just bring a lot more people to God, to Yah. So yeah, no, it's very frustrating.
Yeah, totally. And one thing, kind of what you're talking about, like I remember this being a scary concept as a child, and even in so much that I remember them explicitly saying like, no, nothing can escape the gravitational pull of a black hole, and everything will be sucked into it and be separated into single atoms and then spread out over a big line. And so again, now I didn't pull this up, but recently they quote unquote took a picture of a black hole, and again, I just want to note, just like that, you have a same thing here. It says here it's amplified and mixed with other data. So they're actually not getting, they're not actually getting a recording, an MP3 back from this. They are taking data and creating a sound based on data based upon their already their assumptions of how the whole system works in the first place. So It's pretty nuts. But that kind of leads into mine, and I want everyone to see this. So when I was a child, I did go to public school, and in the public school, I remember very vividly that we had these days where we would go to the library and learn things about the library, like for instance the Dewey Decimal System. So going in to school, I was shown this series of videos that showed, in a kind of fanciful way, how like a way of learning this. So I'm gonna pull this up for y'all, and I'm just gonna play the intro. I'm not gonna play the whole thing, just because I don't want to get in trouble, and I am gonna have my video up on it just so it helps even more without getting in trouble. So anyways, this is again a library series to teach children the Dewey Decimal System. So again, I'm gonna pull this over, guys. Y'all should be able to at least see my screen. You won't see me, but I'll go ahead and play this. Y'all should have audio as well. So let's get into this. So interestingly enough, I didn't grow up in Mississippi. I grew up in Washington State, and that's where I saw it. We got some cartoons here. Ooh, mysterious. Ooh, what's going on? I'm interested. Oh, what did they find? Ooh. Oh my gosh. Ooh, scary. Ooh, tomes and talismans, no occultic meaning here. Let's look. Ooh, all of these symbols of the zodiac. Weird. I wonder what that means.
Human movement was severely limited. The hypercolonization of 2103 could not be stopped. Disconnected species from the dark star solar system countered perfect but effective pastime, the disruption of all communication and data technology. The spread of wipers and pollution increased the need for the scientific search for solutions. In 2117, the worldwide government voted for the restoration of all Earth to the white crystal solar system.
Space.
Completed in 2123 during our final days on Earth.
Oh my gosh.
We leave it for those who may return here in the stories brought for humankind, the Lost Earth Library.
This is how you learn the Dewey Decimal System.
That's a bit depressing, huh?
So I'm gonna leave it there. That's pretty wild. What are y'all's thoughts?
Well,
Yep.
go ahead.
Yeah, I sent you a picture of my thing. I put it in your DMs. Yeah, that's crazy.
So that is just chapter 1. There's multiple episodes of that, but like what I want to kind of show about that is like all that deceit in this beautiful picture, in this imagination, right? Like you come to the library, at least for me when I was a child, when I would go to the library, it was like this, awesome experience where it's like, oh my gosh, there's all these books and I can learn about all these things, or I can read all these stories. And so when I was shown this, right, like they're obviously saying this is fictional, right? Like this is, hey everyone, this is a fictional story, but they're also putting all these elements in it that you can obviously see. So, Nick, what was your thoughts about that? And me being shown that in, 3rd, 4th grade?
Yeah, it really reminds me of other other weird programming stuff. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but yeah, no, it's just creepy. Yeah.
Yeah, very creepy. And before we keep going, I just want to shout out everyone in chat. We got Luke, Andrew, my lovely wife, Carrie M. Marsha's in there. Pepper's in there. We also have Nick's in there as well. We got Patones11. Thanks for being here. Let's see here. We got Cajun Cowboy, Lisa Severe. Hopefully I pronounced that right, Lisa. We got Chance. Welcome, Chance. Long time no see. Welcome, brother. But yeah, so anyways, back to what I was showing is like that. Now, there was so many symbols and symbology there. I kind of want to run back and show y'all and see if y'all... go ahead, Nick.
The guy's wearing an orange jumpsuit at the end, so that made me think of like Freemasonry.
33. Funny enough that you bring up 33. We're going to be talking about that in a little bit. But, okay, so I'm going to mute it this time. I am going to share my screen again, so bear with me. But I'm going to pause it on a few things and kind of show y'all. So let me pull that up again. That's here, boom, boom. Okay, so in this video, there's obviously a lot of things. Now, first off, here we go. We got that's literally the first thing that you see. So they're setting the stage of where this is taking place. So we've all seen that before. Now we have. We pull here. Okay, so again, we got the Globe Worldwide News. So that's kind of interesting. Final evacuation set for today. Sanal defeats bill to curb a fuzzy signal, whatever that means. Now, they obviously made this to put it in there, but we're going to keep going. Oh, I went too far. Now, when it first opens up that book... Now, before I show that, anyone know what the main symbol of the occult is? What would y'all say?
What?
What is the main symbol of the occult?
Eye of Horus.
You think eye?
Maybe.
Okay. Anyone else? Anyone else have some guesses?
Pyramid?
So
Not sure.
the sun, right? The sun is used in many occults as as a ritual. They use the summer solstice and the winter solstice as an example. Now, really quick, I'm going to play this again. But if you look at the book at the very bottom left corner, you have the sun symbol. So you can't really see it there, but right. Okay, so they have this symbol. I guess it's not the sun symbol, but look. So this is my example. So they have this outlined in black, which is very interesting to me that they have that one. Now you have all this. I guess you could just say it's vines, but it's very creepy looking. Now all of these are runes, and it's by RYX. Okay, so tomes and talismans. Now, really quickly, I'll bring this up for y'all. Enchantments, a talisman, and we'll pull that up as well. And I believe it's 10, so just bear with me while I pull this up. And I believe it's 10. It might be 8. Okay, nope, here we go. And let's go oops, maybe it's 11. No. Gosh, do y'all know what that is? Maybe it's 8. Sorry, I thought I had it on my mind, but apparently I didn't. Is it 8? Okay, yeah, here it is.
What are you looking for?
I found it. I found it. So, in chapter 8 of the book of First Enoch, and it says, Azel taught men to make swords and knives and shields and breastplates, and made known to them the metals and the art of working them, and bracelets and ornaments and the uses of anatomy and the beautifying of the eyelids and all the costly stones and color tinctures. So that part, and then it goes on, and there rose much godliness, and they committed fornication, and they were led astray and became corrupt in all their ways. And Semajaz taught enchantments and root cuttings. And then Armos, the resolvement of enchantment. So real quick, I'm just going to pull up here talisman meaning. And I totally butchered that spelling, but an object typically inscribed ring or stone that is thought to have magical powers and to bring good luck. So, which is exactly what's here back here in the Book of Enoch, and the resolving of enchantments. Enchantments and the resolving of enchantments. So, point being is there's multiple occult symbols in this thing, and it's supposed to be, again, just this this way of learning the Dewey Decimal System. So, again, I suggest y'all check this out, maybe find some more pieces in plain sight, because there is plenty. But anyways, yeah, that was kind of a thing as a child. And when thinking back to, I realized how often I had these things like this where they molded what I believed and how I saw the world, yet they were completely fictional. So I think that's a pretty big deal, and why I wanted to share it with y'all. So anyways, that was my kind of thing I wanted to share with everyone. And let's pull up. We got a couple more things. Pull up. I actually pulled up a couple things for you, Frankie. So it's the exact same. It's not the exact same picture, but it's pretty close. So let me find where I put that. Excuse me, guys. I have so many tabs right now that it's kind of hard to. Okay, here we go. So Frankie, you'll be able to see what I'm sharing on screen. So pull this up for you. And,
yeah, I see it.
Yeah, so let's show.
Yeah, they
this
told
girl.
us in school that if the Earth was flat, Columbus would have sailed off the edge of the Earth. And they showed us pictures like this. It was in some type of textbook.
Yeah, and they would say, that's obviously if the world was flat, we would just sail off like this. Now,
I think it was in some morning cartoons like Sesame Street and some
even
of
late.
the other ones.
Yeah, even earlier than that, more like Scratchy Mickey Mouse,
Well,
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was in Sesame Street and some of the morning. Because Sesame Street was kind of like a programming. It wasn't like Nickelodeon. Well, Nickelodeon is too, but Nickelodeon's cartoons. That was another generation, but our generation was Sesame Street, the Electric Factory, and they would do like learning skits, and I think this was one of their tutorials about the globe and the flat Earth thing.
Yeah, totally. And so what's interesting enough, right, is a lot of people recount, like, hey, they directly connected Christopher Columbus to one of the ways that we knew that the Earth is globe. However, mainline science here, this is from history.com, says that, they never set it out. And, I'm not going to read this whole thing, but they basically go on to say, like, oh, no, they already knew that the Earth was not flat, for hundreds of years before, these Greek scholars knew it way before they ever knew. So it had nothing to do with it. That's just, an old wives' tale that they said that doesn't really have anything to do with it. So there is this quote: "Is there anyone so foolish as to believe in people who walk with their heels upward and their heads hanging down low?" One of the Catholic geographers supposed, exclaiming when Columbus told him the Earth was a circle and not a flat line. So, they obviously pit two questionable things here off against each other, and kind of want everyone to pick a decision. But obviously, we're not going to do that. We're just going to show that they're that they're full of BS, because the shape of the earth has been debated since at least the creation of the heliocentric model. So anyways, kind of long-winded there. What do you think, Frankie? Give me more thoughts, brother.
Yeah, well, now I found out that it's a complete lie. So, and now we know that there is that the Antarctica is an ice shelf, so you could never, and you can't even go there to sail anyway, or with a boat or with a plane. So you could never get to the edge of the earth. And there's an ice shelf surrounding the edge of the earth, holding all the water in like a bowl would. So that's been debunked. And it's just programming started young. They're really attacking the children. They're programmed, and now this whole generation, you can choose whatever gender you can declare yourself whatever you want. You're no longer male or female. You can pick your own gender. I mean, it's insanity what they're doing to our children. And people are starting to fight back and wake up, but there's people that are sold into it, and I just don't understand why you would let your children go through that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And all the fear that's directly associated with it, right? Because if we are a spinning globe, there are asteroids, there are, meteoroids. So at any point, a meteor or asteroid could hit us and just, destroy all life as we know it. We're just this piece of sack of amoeba flesh on a random speck of dust in an endless void, an ever expanding endless void. So,
yeah. There's a movie on Netflix about an asteroid hitting. DiCaprio's in it.
Isn't it called "Don't Look Up" or something like that?
Yeah, Don't Look Up. Yeah.
Yep, they always love that.
I didn't get through the whole thing. I couldn't get through the whole thing. I mean, I got through like maybe 30 minutes or 40 minutes of it. It was just so programming.
I kind of am like that with a lot of movies. Like, I really used to love, what was that called? Armageddon, where they flew up there and they blew it apart, and they had deep impact and, all those things. But, now even trying to go back and watch it, it's just like, it's like the programming is so thick that you can't make it through it without like succumbing to the nonsense. You know what I mean?
It was on TN. It was on FX a couple weeks ago, and I watched it, and I was just laughing at it with the shuttlecraft flying real fast and doing all kinds of crazy tricks and flying through the asteroid belt. It was crazy.
Does anyone remember the headline from several years back that said like an asteroid the size of a basketball court was going to hit Earth in like the year 2025? Something like that.
They say things like, if you literally, and I can do it for the stream, but go ahead and try it. Like, literally go to Google, type in asteroids hit news, and you'll read a plethora of things that literally like, near miss, asteroid gonna come within 100 miles, and you'll just see it over and over and over about all these close calls from asteroids. So it really wouldn't surprise me. And what's really interesting is most of our streams, we don't really share things on streams, but of course right now I'm getting a lot of errors from YouTube, so I don't know if y'all are actually getting it or it's just telling me it. So hopefully everyone is still seeing the stream correctly. But But yeah, it's total nonsense. But let's keep going because we still got quite a few things to kind of look over. So one of the pictures in the thumbnail in the background there is a nuclear bomb going off, so called. And we've all been told a lot that things like uranium, things that are highly radioactive are highly toxic and will kill you very quickly. But I'm going to show you some information that kind of that says contrary. And an interesting fact about this is, those materials aren't readily accessible. You do have to go through some processes to buy them. You just can't go to your store and pick up some uranium. But anyways, let's go ahead and pull this up for everyone. Y'all should already be able to see it over there on Discord. And let's go ahead and play this. So he has a Geiger counter here. He's testing the material, showing that it's radioactive.
Can you turn the volume up?
Yeah, totally. 1 second.
Is it still radioactive?
Hopefully that's better.
Yeah, that's called residual radioactivity. Now, under the decontamination rules of the government, when you decontaminate somebody like this that's that contaminated, and this is certainly a reportable incident under current DOE regulations, when you decontaminate him, it has to go down a controlled...
If you didn't catch that, basically what he was saying is what he just did by exposing that, they would have to basically notify and say, hey, there was a radioactive exposure because of what he just did. But let's keep watching.
Drain, so that you don't disperse radioactivity. Do I qualify as a controlled drain?
So if y'all didn't see that, he said, do I qualify as a controlled drain? And he swallowed the uranium, and then he put the Geiger counter in his mouth and, turned it on so you could see that his mouth did indeed, receive that. It wasn't just some sleight of hand. So let's continue watching.
That material that I just ate is not soluble in body fluids. It's been this. It was fired at 940 degrees C, where it becomes U3O8, known in the industry as HCl insoluble. In other words, it will not dissolve in concentrated hydrochloric acid, hot. Your stomach has 10th normal hydrochloric acid in it, so it won't even dissolve. The stuff is so fine that it has no texture to it. Doesn't even feel rough. So it's tasteless, odorless, has no texture. How is it supposed to hurt me? Because I've been eating this on lecture tour for 2 years, the state of Washington felt it necessary to confiscate my uranium samples so that I would be safe.
So he had been eating it for 2 years. They told him they literally stole his property to keep him safe in this free country.
Dr. Fulton from the Hanford Environmental Health.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I thought this was so interesting. The name of the guy we're watching right now, his name is Galen Winsor. No D in the Windsor. It's Winsor. And when I was listening to them talk about him on Crow 777, I thought a really interesting detail was in the Star Wars movie, in the first prequel movie they did, there was the character of the guy who designed the Death Star, and he put into the Death Star the fatal flaw in its design which would make it vulnerable and you could destroy it easily. And the name of that character, his name was Galen Urso, which they thought was interesting on Crow's podcast, and I do too, because it's like I think it's the writers, like they know that nukes are fake as the day is long, and they kind of gave that character a name really similar to Galen Windsor to kind of like nod and wink, like yeah, it's not real. Like the Death Star is not, is actually not a threat, and just like nukes, they actually have a hidden flaw, which is that they aren't real at all. Any thoughts?
Yeah, that's super interesting. With that connection, it's pretty close. And it wouldn't surprise me if there are people even within the system that are awake to it. Maybe they awoke in the system, and so instead of just kind of saying all the bannable words directly, they kind of they're in and using the system to kind of spread those nuggets of truth. So it totally wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, yeah. And to be clear, this guy that we're watching, Galen Windsor, I feel like maybe not everyone knows, but he's like a former insider in the nuclear field, and he was a big time whistleblower. Very important figure. There's more to this guy than just this little clip that we're watching.
Yeah, and I just wanted to show the reason why I want to show the clip is because we're talking about nukes here. So first off, we're told that this substance is highly radioactive, i.e., highly deadly, and we just show him explain that he's been eating it for 2 years. It was confiscated from him for his safety, yet he didn't have any ill effects previously to it. But this substance, when they can break it apart on a atomic level, all of a sudden we have this nuclear explosion. But I have a group of news articles, and we're gonna go through them a little here, a little there, and kind of talk about them and see if we see. Okay, 1 second, Chance. Okay, my fan was on. I usually shut that one off, so hopefully that's better now. But anyways, so yeah, I have a host of news articles here, and we're gonna kind of go through them and see if we notice anything on them together. So let's pull this up, and y'all should already be here on screen with me. So the article we have here is why is it so hard to make nuclear weapons? And it says, there's all this information, but we're going to kind of jump down here. We got a lot of times and dates and people and detail. Sorry about that barking in the background. Don't know if y'all can hear that or not. But anyways, okay, let's see here. The tricky part. So they tell us it's about to get tricky. Okay. Now I'm going to read a couple paragraphs here for y'all. So join along with me as I do so. So let's pull this up and go like this. Okay. In order to sustain the type of chain reaction necessary for a bomb explosion, the atoms need to be held in a modified state known as supercritical mass, so that more than one of the free neutrons from each split hits another atom and causes it to split. A supercritical mass is formed in a uranium bomb by initially storing the fuel as separate subcritical masses to prevent the bomb from detonating too early, and then joining the two masses together. The bomb also needs to be designed to allow enough chain reaction to take place before the initial energy from the explosion causes the bomb to fail. And then we go here. Little boy, the first nuclear bomb that was dropped on Hiroshima during World War II was fueled by uranium and detonated with a force equivalent to about 15 kilotons of TNT, killing as many as 140 people. But a major problem with uranium bombs, Kristen said, is the fact that the material happens to be the world's heaviest natural occurring element, twice as heavy as lead. According to the Union of Concerned Scientists, a nuclear bomb needs about 33 pounds of enriched uranium to be operational. The bulkiness of the bomb materials also make it harder to apply the technology to existing long-range missile systems. So, you had brought it up before. Did you catch anything there, Nick?
Yeah.
Frankie,
Yeah,
Marcia, did y'all catch anything there?
Yeah, no, well, no, I didn't catch it enough. I think I know what you're getting at. Maybe, yeah, Marcia.
No, I didn't.
Okay, Frankie,
But
did you catch it?
Yeah, that only 140 people died.
Nope, not that. Let's pull it up again. Y'all should see it.
Little boy, it was supposed to end the war. How the hell did only 140 people die?
140,000. Sorry if I misread that. You should be able to see it with me on screen, but I'll read this last sentence.
Yeah,
According to the Union of Concerned Scientists, a nuclear bomb needs about 33 pounds of enriched uranium to be operational.
Bingo. Yep.
So in order to make a nuclear bomb, you need around about 33 pounds. What a coinky dink. But let's not stop there. Let's see what else we can say. This is the day the sky caught fire. So this was a bomb that was done in Russia. But let's jump down here and see how they actually exploded. How did this test go? So they hung the bomb 33 meters above the ground on a gallows-shaped rig at a polygon test site just to the west of the Simbapalaski, which is the part of Kazakhstan. The rig was named the Goose because of its resemblance to a bird neck and beak. Crucially, nobody worried about the weather forecast or the wind direction, apart from a few communities in the immediate vicinity which were evacuated. Nobody seemed to care about the rest of the region's population might be affected. So, 33 meters above. Interesting. Not 32, not 34, but 33. But let's keep going. This is Project Rio Blanco. Project Rio Blanco happened May 17th, 1973 in the Rio Blanco County of Colorado. And 3 33 kiloton nuclear devices were detonated simultaneously in a single emplacement, well at the depths of whatever feet and whatever feet. So I'm not going to go on there, but yeah, they did 3 33 kiloton nuclear weapons this time. And let's see here. So let's pull this up. This is the U.S. intelligence on Russia and Chinese nuclear testing activities. This is prospects of comprehensive test ban treaty led China to accelerate test scheduling. So let's see what this is all about. The prospects of the comprehensive nuclear test ban treaty in the early 1990s led China to accelerate its testing schedule and discuss differences with the Russian government over testing. According to the documents obtained through the Freedom of Information Act and archival research and posted on the web today by the National Security Archive at George Washington University, the documents illustrate the efforts of the U.S. Intelligence Committee to understand developments at Russia and Chinese nuclear test sites. And whatever this says, from 1900 to 2000. Today's posting included 33 documents, many originally classified top secret. Produced under the auspices of Director of the Central Intelligence, the Central Intelligence Agency, and the Defense Intelligence Agency. The records were obtained by Archive Senior Fellow Jeffrey T. Richardson, who conducted research from recently published Spying on the Bomb, American Nuclear Intelligence from Nazi Germany to Iran and North Korea. So again, not going to read it all, but I'm glad we got these 33 documents. So let's keep going. So this is California. Did y'all know California leads the way in the support of nuclear disarmament? Yeah. The state the state senate of California, the most populous state in the United States, has adopted Assembly Joint Resolution 33, AJR 33, which calls upon the federal government to embrace the Treaty of the Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons, make nuclear disarmament the centerpiece of national security policy, and to spearhead a global effort to prevent nuclear war. Oh, wow. Joint Resolution 33. Good one there. Let's keep going. This is how the death of a U.S. Air Force pilot prevented a nuclear war. Oh, let's see what's going on here. On October 27th, 1962, Rudolph Anderson Jr. streaked across that stratosphere 14 miles above a planet tied up in knots. 13 days before the Air Force major had flown on one of the top-secret reconnaissance missions over Cuba that confirmed the existence of Soviet missile sites just 90 miles from the American mainland. Anderson was originally scheduled to fly on this day, but he lobbied hard for the assignment when the mission was added to the schedule. Mission 3127. Anderson sixth foray over Cuba as a part of Operation Brass Knob would be his most dangerous yet, when Soviet SA-2 surface-to-air missiles SAMs now operational and war seemingly imminent. Shortly after Anderson entered Cuban airspace, his unarmed high-altitude U-2 plane bomber appeared as a blip over the Soviet radar. As the Soviet military tracked the intruding aircraft, the concern mounted that the pilot was photographing secret locations of tactical nuclear positions near America's Guantanamo Bay naval base. Our guest has been up here for over an hour, Lieutenant General Stefan Greco told a deputy. I think we should give the order to shoot it down, as it is discovering our positions in depth. With the commanding general, the only man authorized to order a surface-to-air missile launch, nowhere to be found, Greco gave the order himself. Destroy target number 33. Whew, man. So,
A hero.
So,
what a hero.
Yeah, what a hero. So, I don't know, like, I kind of went through a whole bunch of stories really quick. What did y'all notice from that?
33.
So why do you, and guys, there's so many more. Search 33 pictures of Japan, after, 33 pictures of Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Like, literally, 33 is tied to so many things to deal with the, with the liars. And
right.
they play it all the time. Now, I'm not going to get into the beer bug one this time. That's all something that we recently went through. And, hopefully most of those realize that they're even lying about that. But to kind of continue going, they basically just, show us lie and lie and lie and lie. So for those that don't know, we have been starting putting out different shorts. So we're at 3, and they come out every Wednesday. So we have pieces about Franz Ferdinand, about the Federal Reserve Act, and about the Zapruder film. This is, I'm going to play this real quick for everyone, so bear with me. Why am I muted? That is very weird. Why is it mute? Oh, it's over here. Okay. So I'll restart that in a second. And let me pause. Okay. So, there we go. Okay, so we're putting out these shorts, and I'm going to share one with y'all. This is the new one. Go check it out, on the channel, though. Hopefully y'all are enjoying these. I'm getting a lot of great comments, so I appreciate all those who are commenting on those. But I'm going to share this again for y'all so that everyone can peep this. So bear with me while I refresh this page because it went kind of weird on me. And we'll do a little transition as soon as it is back up. And perfect. So let's watch this. Narrated by my lovely wife, the Mrs. Vader. So here we go.
Everyone knows there are conspiracies surrounding the assassination of JFK, but did you know not only was there no live coverage, but the film that everyone associates with the event was not aired until more than a decade later? Abraham Zapruder, who was a Ukrainian Jewish immigrant that worked his way up in the clothing industry as well as became a 33-degree Inspector General of the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry, initially decided to film the motorcade from his office window, but decided not to bring his camera the morning of.
Turn the volume up.
Later in the day, at the behest of his coworker, he returned home to grab his camera as the weather had cleared up, and then decided to find a spot on the route and get ready to film. Though initially, Zapruder sold just the print rights of the footage to Life magazine the evening after the event for $50,000, he requested, and Life magazine agreed, not to show frame 313 that showed the final moments. The very next day, he would end up selling all the rights for an additional $150,000, in which he requested the payment not be known to the public. Everyone knows there are conspiracies.
Oh, dang. I'm so sorry, guys. I clicked the wrong button. I meant to mute something else. But anyways, so what I was saying is the reason why I wanted to show that is because as we had seen from all the nuclear stuff, right, this 33 number is significant to the Scottish Rite, which is Abraham Zapruder was a 33-degree Freemason of the Scottish Rite. And also we see that the final frame showing that final moment supposedly of JFK was frame 313. You know, take out the 1 and you got again 33. So yeah, like Chance is saying, them 33s be growing on trees. Yeah, it seems like they're up from everywhere. And again, go look into the beer bug and you will see that number being spouted out many times in different variations, very similar to how we're seeing with the nuclear, so-called nuclear weapons. So anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed that part of it. We still got some more to go. So let's pull this up.
I had a late video, which is you don't have to show, but it was about a nuclear blast in the 1955 or something. And in that video, you'll notice this.
Yeah,
this
I'll pull
blast.
it up. Let's pull it up. Let's don't describe it. Let's pull it up.
Okay.
And we'll share it with everyone.
House. All right. With this house being blown, but the camera doesn't budge. It's as still as it's nuts.
Okay, y'all should be able to see it
propaganda.
On that side, and let me show it on. Show it on this side. All right, here we go. Let's play this. Atomic test.
The Nevada desert in America is the scene of the latest atomic test.
Oh,
you can speed it up.
My fine man.
To join scientists, military and civil defense.
Yeah, you can speed it or.
Oh my gosh. They're doing all this military testing. It's so poisonous that there are all these people up in the open. Let's see what happens to the buildings. They're just gonna wear glasses.
And now the bomb. The marvel and the horror of
No, it's the camera. Keep the eye on the camera. How this enormous test is, and how it's the camera doesn't budge.
Wow.
And they must.
Wow, guys. Everything is just. Oh my gosh. That house just turns to dust. Oh my. Oh. Whoa! Be scared. Oh, look at that. Camera,
but the camera doesn't move.
Camera
doesn't even check.
Not affected whatsoever.
Not even check.
There's no way that could possibly be created footage. This is obviously 100% real, guys. Listen. You know how you can tell that it's real? Is because listen to the dramatic footage. It's just like they have in movies. This is insane. Sweet. Well, thanks for sharing that. That is very preposterous.
Yep.
And it's literally, again, has the exact sounds of a movie. So silly. Sweet. All right. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, so there's a few other things that we're going to be sharing. So let's go ahead and get into those. So, you know, one of the main topics that we've been taught in school over and over and over, right, was evolution. And so, I want to kind of get into that. But I want to give you it, kind of from, a very big believer in evolution. So let's listen to this guy talk for a minute. Oops.
All right, everyone, it's time for the cult video number 252, Evolutionary Prime Forms. This is something I was thinking about jellyfish the other day and the Portuguese man of war. Now, the Portuguese man of war, and I believe this is the case, is not a true jellyfish in the evolutionary sense and simply resembles them and is, I don't exactly know what kind of life form, something else, some other weird life form that doesn't even have a nervous system and, probably shouldn't exist at all. Sort of like octopi. The way they evolved is just extremely strange, and they're probably, from another planet, a la Lovecraft. They're probably conspiring to take over the world. There's like a giant octopus 10 miles wide in the middle of the ocean with a giant brain, and it's sending its minions out to attack ships.
You believe this stuff.
That's more spooky woo maybe than you'd like to think, but anyway, I got to thinking. You think about like butterflies and birds. They both develop the ability to flap wings in order to gain lift and move around in the sky. You think about in evolution all of the times in which something has evolved within two different lineages where it wasn't before.
Oh, that's never happened.
And I got to thinking, wouldn't that beg the question, would there be something as a prime form within evolution? That is, a form that will tend to be emulated by species that then gain more success from it. If they are more successful and therefore more survivable, and last for therefore, as an average, a longer period of time, would those forms would not tend to be replicated in more intelligent species?
No.
That may exist. So aliens, in other words, intelligent life forms.
Oh, so you believe in aliens.
Intelligent life forms, you would think, would be symmetrical in the linear sense, probably most of the time. It would just make sense.
Why would it just make sense?
Had and this would be vestigiality. I would assume it's some technological.
He sounds so smart too, doesn't he?
Would have had a larger cranial size, things of that nature.
Yeah, you're the smartest guy in the room.
The geology and the chemical composition, the climate, the zone, it's called the Goldilocks Zone. This is within mainstream astronomy, although I don't fully agree with it. That the idea is that life will tend to generate on planets out there that have conditions that we would consider favorable in the sense related to organic chemistry. That is, that will allow DNA or something similar to exist, to be expressed in the sense of protein or whatever. You could consider the possibility of silicon-based life.
I don't mean to stop you, but like, they know all the proteins and amino acids, that came together to, create this, first cell, kind of like how you're explaining here. But then why can't they reproduce that and create a new, a living cell from those things? You don't have to answer right now. We can talk about it later, but go on. What were you saying?
I think probably that does exist out there as well. And so you'd have these different basic forms of life with different chemical compositions maybe, but there would be certain things that would tend to always be emulated.
Oh,
So it's
okay.
like, you watch a sci-fi movie and a lot of times all the aliens are bipedal and humanoid. And then they're just various expressions of that.
Like the fiction
and some of them
part
are a
of
little
it.
more human-like than others, and sometimes this plays a political or diplomatic role.
Interesting.
But there aren't sea anemone people. There aren't jellyfish aliens, and if they are, in some cases, they're relegated to the animalistic. What if this isn't just a anthropic Hollywood trope that happened to hold sway until
so you're
more
saying this
recent
is,
modern
like,
times?
real.
But what if this is actually real?
Guys, that was not planned at all. I literally said, so you think this is real? And he literally says it's real. So, gosh, yeah, I just wanted to show you with that, and the point of me showing you that is how closely the occult is tied to evolutionary mindset, how they are completely mingled together, and you can't have one without the other because they come from the same place. But I got some other things here I want to show real quick, so let's pull up these videos. And y'all can check them out with me. So let's pull this up. This one is, it says Memoir the Red. This is on BitChute. It says the whole subject of evolutionary. We're just going to watch a part of it. So here we go. Pull this up for y'all.
Then you know you got a problem. Perfect. And it breaks down like this. Most people don't understand that evolution has 6 definitions. Now, one of them is observable. One of them is provable. Species change. Species variation. But the word evolution is a loaded term. If a creation story, like the Big Bang, isn't provable, then it is, by definition, a religion. So we have scientism. The truth of the matter is evolutionary biology is a bunk subject. It shouldn't even exist. And yeah, so evolutionary biology, a failed science. These things need to be broken down and built back up. And another amazing seminar talking about proofs that evolution is bunk is Dr. Ken Hovind. He's a ball earther, but nobody's perfect. He loves them globes. I don't know. But other than that, his work debunking evolution is amazing. He was going to start a lawsuit against textbook companies, and then mysteriously the IRS throws him in jail. Yeah, that's not weird or anything. But back to this guy, playing this clip here.
Perhaps a change of scenery would give me a fresh perspective.
So, in France, let's see what we got going on. What are we going to learn here in France? I hear they have rats in the street right down the street from Paris.
How are you, sir?
Eiffel Tower.
So where are you from originally?
I was born in New York.
Yes.
Spent 31 years in Manhattan.
Yeah. Surprised it's not 33
I spent a lot
years.
of time in California too.
And tell me all the various universities where you studied or taught.
No, I was at Princeton, then I had a professorship at Stanford, and then I left Stanford, and I taught at Rutgers.
Are they really walking down the middle of the
City College
street?
in
Is
New
that
York.
something
I
you
left
do
the
in
City College
France?
in New York. I taught at the Baruch
I have no idea.
College.
I've never
I taught
been
at
there,
San
but it
Jose.
seems
Teach at
kind
Baruch
of
College.
Anything
weird.
they wanted. Come on in.
Thank you, monsieur.
What an old building.
Wow.
It's the oldest in Paris.
You're kidding. Merci, monsieur.
Ah, je vous en prie,
So
monsieur.
this is
Merci.
from Expelled, No Intelligence Allowed.
Wow, this is fabulous.
Let's put it this way. Before you can ask, is Darwinian theory correct or not, you have to ask the preliminary question, is it clear enough so that it could be correct? That's a very different question. One of my prevailing doctrines about Darwinian theory is, man, that thing is just a mess. It's like looking into a room full of smoke. Nothing in the theory is precisely, clearly, carefully defined or delineated. It lacks all of the rigor one expects from mathematical physics, and mathematical physics lacks all the rigor one expects from mathematics. So we're talking about a gradual descent down the level of intelligibility until we reach evolutionary biology. We don't even know what a species is, for heaven's sakes.
So his theory is smoke, but elegant smoke.
There's a certain elegance to it, but you know, I think Einstein had the appropriate remark. He preferred to leave elegance to his tailor.
A room full of smoke? Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Of course, he
Darwin
pulls up
wrote,
Einstein
The Origin of
as
Species in
a
1859, published in
authority
1859.
of intellect.
He had an idea of the cell as being quite simple, correct?
Yeah, everybody did.
Yeah, okay. If he thought of the cell as being a Buick, what is the cell now in terms of its complexity by comparison?
A galaxy.
If Darwin thought a cell was, say, a mud hut, what do we now know that a cell is?
More complicated than a Saturn V.
So what is in a cell?
A Saturn V, that's a good
A world
example.
that Darwin never could have imagined.
Something that doesn't exist.
I needed someone who could give me a glimpse into this world. So we went to
So,
molecular biologist Doug.
So we're going to stop it there and just see that, you know, the basis of Darwinism, you can see is obviously chock full, you know, of self-admittedly by these scientists that even proclaim to believe in these things, that that they're way off. They have nothing defined. But didn't we all get taught in school that evolution was fact?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We were definitely taught that. At least I was. I don't know. Did they teach it all the way up to you, Vader?
Oh, yeah. They taught me that it was absolute fact that we had a non-refutable fossil record showing the progression all the way, you know, to now. So, yeah, I was definitely taught 100% that they were real. Yeah, evolution was real. In fact, it was indisputable, which actually led me later in life to kind of try to mold the two together. Say, oh, well, you know, each day wasn't an actual day. It was much longer. Or, you know, that creation was, you know, this gigantic Goldberg, you know, machine where God just pressed one of the, you know, dominoes and that was creation. So everything unfolded from, you know, let there be light was the Big Bang. And I tried to mold those two things together, the heliocentric model, the evolutionary model, because I always had a desire to seek for truth for God. And obviously when I was presented in school with that information, it was presented as fact, right? Not as this is a theory, this is the alternative to what they think. Just like in religion, they don't have any proof, but they have faith in this information. We too have faith in this information, so we believe it's fact, just like you people, religious people, believe that it's fact. So yeah, that really obviously messed up with me, and part of my ego came from that. And what I mean by my ego is like the part of me that was so angry and hurt when I came to the realization that we don't live on a spinning ball and we didn't come from monkeys, and all those little things that I believed that I was so smart in figuring out. You know, I literally just fell for their deceit. And it's quite insane. So I got a couple other things here I'm gonna pull up for y'all. Dang it! Oh, dang it! I think I just got rid of a. Let me pull this back a little bit. So so another thing we got on there was. Excuse me. Another thing we got on there. We saw that T-Rex, you know, being angry, roaring. So I got an article here I'm gonna pull up for y'all, and is you know, some kind of interesting things. So did I not? 1 second. I totally got rid of that.
Grab it out of history.
No, I pulled it up. Oh wait, where'd it go? Okay, here it is. Oh, is this it? Nope. Dang it. Sorry guys, give me 1 second. I thought I pulled it up, but I must have accidentally closed it somewhere. So anyways, so it was dinosaurs, and obviously the dinosaur whole thing goes into goes into evolution, right? Because we are told, that T-Rexes or the like eventually evolved into our modern day chickens or our eagles or our falcons. So it's intrinsically tied now. I don't know exactly 100% where this guy is coming from. It kind of sounds like he believes in dinosaurs, but he does make some statements that he's at least, willing to think about it. So this is it's God's flat Earth. He's a paleontologist. So I'm gonna bring this video up and we're gonna watch it for a second. So pull this up. This. Pull it over. Okay, here we go. Let's make this full screen. And here we go, guys. Oh, it's muted. Let's unmute that. And try again.
Dinosaur bones and the soft tissues within them. In fact, this is a piece of Triceratops.
So if you didn't hear that, he just said, I have a piece of dinosaur bone here, and it has soft tissue in it. So soft tissue, he'll go on and explain that, but let's continue.
Frill that we excavated from the Hell Creek Formation in Montana, and we've been finding lots of soft tissue in this, the bone osteocytes, beautifully preserved down to hundreds of nanometers structure and still soft. And I just have to mount a response to a silly argument that was posted by Dr. Hugh Ross from Reasons to Believe on his webpage this March. Here it is now, May, and this was posted March 2015 in answer to a question. Could fresh dinosaur tissue survive for millions of years? And obviously a student emailed him and said, recently I've been referred by some young Earth creationist friends to a couple of articles about a Tyrannosaurus Rex tooth and a Triceratops horn that both underwent autopsies showing fresh organic material.
So he's talking about a part of a Triceratops supposedly, and a part of a tooth from a T-Rex, and that they still have soft tissue. So let's continue.
Now obviously the Triceratops horn is my work. That's the work that I published in Acta Histochemica, and because no one else has found soft tissue in Triceratops horn. So this is an answer that he's mounted against my work, and therefore I'm going to respond. It's interesting, though, the last statement that the student makes. He says, I would love support on how to respond to maintain the old Earth perspective. Dear student, whatever your name is, don't have an agenda for your science. Don't be afraid of where your science takes you. In my case, my science took me to soft tissue in a Triceratops horn.
So I'm going to stop real quick, and I think that's very important and something that I think a lot of people overlook when it comes to the quote-unquote science community. Now, a lot of scientists, like he's giving an example here, will basically go on to say you didn't find soft tissue because if you did, that means it wouldn't be millions of years old. We know that dinosaurs are millions of years old, therefore you're wrong. And so what I'm trying to point out there is obviously the presumption that dinosaurs are millions of years old will change the way that you process information through your paleontology, whereas if you're seeking the truth seemingly as this man is. So, but let's continue.
And I'm talking stretchy, and I'll show you this here in a second. This is what we mean by an example of soft tissue which was collected from the Triceratops horn in Montana. I'm going to stretch it. Look at how stretchy this is. And this is full of bone osteocytes, the tiny cells that make this tissue and then impregnate it with bone mineral. And this was found 1 foot from the surface in Montana in the presence of insects, microbes, rodents, plants, and fungal bodies, and we've recovered the DNA of all of those. So this cannot hang around for millions of years in the presence of all those organisms and oxygen and water. And so this is what we're talking about by soft tissue. Now, Dr. Hugh Ross.
So I don't know if y'all saw that or not, for those that maybe just be listening, but he was taking two type of, little utensils, and he was stretching out this material. Now, I don't know this guy. I'm going to listen to what he has to say and look at the evidence. But so in no way do I know for a fact that he pulled that from a quote-unquote Triceratops, but just the fact that we found this bone, it is in the paleontology world, it is being labeled a quote-unquote Triceratops, and let's go on.
And I like to call him Dr. Huge Wrong from Reasons to Question, has an a priori or an in advance problem with Scripture. He questions most of Genesis. He questions the literal 6-day creation. He questions Adam and Eve being created at the beginning. And Jesus said that they were created at the beginning. He questions the Garden of Eden. He questions a flood, a global flood, that killed everything on earth except for those people and animals that were in Noah's Ark. And so Hugh Ross, or Huge Wrong, is guilty of the first sin in the Bible, which was, did God really say? And he needs to repent of that and start believing what Scripture says and what Jesus taught and preached. But here he goes. Paleontologists who have studied these fossils disagree. Disagree on what? Yep. The claim made by young Earth creationists that discovery of soft tissue in dinosaur fossils prove that these fossils cannot be millions of years old. So he's calling what we're producing and publishing in the open scientific literature a claim, not a published peer-reviewed result, and he's saying paleontologists who have studied these fossils disagree.
So I just want to stop real quick and bring up that point where he's talking about, hey, this isn't just some article in some random magazine that's free. This isn't a published educational thing. In the academic. And what's interesting is when information goes contrary to the mainline scientific belief, this often happens. Is where's your proof? But even though this one was peer-reviewed, which is obviously a good sign for them not being millions of years old, it still questions the whole method, because obviously people who are in this line of thinking are going to peer review it as a negative, as a positive, and then people who disagree with this view are going to peer review it in a negative. So, but let's keep going.
Well, of course they disagree, Huge Wrong. They disagree because it upsets their little millions and billions of years apple cart. Exactly. And so, yes, I'm upset about this because he's attacking my work. He goes on to say, if a sample is isolated from any exposure to bacteria and oxygen, then the soft tissue evidence easily can be preserved for over 100 million years. Really, Dr. Ross? And you have experimental evidence to show that? We did a blast DNA analysis of the Triceratops horn, not the frill, but the horn, and we found the DNA of over 30 bacteria, plants, fungal bodies, and we even found insects and rodent DNA. And so the horn was obviously not isolated from oxygen or organisms. In fact, it was a foot below the Montana surface, and that was subjected to water penetration, to the freeze-thaw cycle, to who knows what else. And so your claim, Dr. Wrong, is specious, because these were not cut off from bacteria and oxygen. In fact, I have photographs of plant roots and fungal hyphae traveling through the horn right next to osteocytes, which are the bone cells, the soft bone cells. And I can show you these pictures, Dr. Wrong, if you'd like to see them. Now he goes on to say that it's easy for these things to be preserved for millions and millions of years. And if you read the peer-reviewed science papers in which these discoveries were announced, you will note the authors do not express shock at these findings. And so what he's claiming here, as a paleontologist, are not shocked by soft tissue and dinosaur bones. I can tell you folks that they are shocked. This is controversial. The editor that reviewed my paper, before he published it, and he published it very quickly, by the way. It was submitted in late December, reviewed, corrected, and accepted for publication on the 3rd of January. That's fast. He called me on the phone before he sent it out for review, and he said, "This is very controversial." And I said, "Yes, it is." And he said, "Thank you very much." And he published it right away. Now, in the final paragraph here, he says, "For more in-depth responses to young Earth creationist claims about soft tissue evidence in dinosaur and the tactics certain young Earth creationists employ to distort the findings." Let me tell you something, Dr. Wrong. I didn't make any claims. I published a peer-reviewed paper in an international journal, and I have more papers in press on findings of soft tissues. These are not claims. You're welcome to email me or call me for a copy of the paper. If you're ignorant about it and you haven't read it, you should educate yourself. Now, I'm sorry, folks, that I'm so worked up about this, but this is my work. This is my work in the open technical literature, and these are findings. These are not tactics, and they're not claims.
So, as you saw there, he literally is talking about, he published these findings, finding this, soft tissue was still in the bone. And the first thing that people who believe in evolution and dinosaurs and all that jazz basically claim is saying, basically saying, oh, we're not, one side saying, oh, we're not surprised that we're finding this soft tissue. But then we have another side of the same coin literally saying, this is a controversial issue because, whatever. But they jump to the claim that all of a sudden this doctor here is, this paleontologist is claiming something when all he is doing is showing, hey, look, I found soft tissue. That's non-debatable. So now I'm going to replay this part. Give me 1 second while I do.
Hi, this is Mark Armitage coming to you from my lab where I've been busy working on dinosaur bones and the soft tissues within them. In fact, this is a piece of Triceratops frill that we excavated from the Hell Creek Formation in Montana, and we've been finding lots of soft tissue in this, the bone osteocytes, beautifully preserved down to hundreds of nanometers structure and still soft. And I just have to mount a
So I thought he said it in there. I thought at some point he literally said supposed, but apparently he didn't. But I thought he said supposedly from it, but he said the frill or whatever. So anyways, what my point of showing that is, even within the community of paleontologists, anyone who finds information that would even suggest that the current mainstream beliefs is wrong is quickly attacked and labeled as tactics and claims as he showed. So anyways, let me pull back up the screen. What are y'all's thoughts about that? Got any?
Yeah, well, other than it's just everything's bogus. I mean, we all know that, but that soft tissue, I have heard about that, but I hadn't seen them actually pulling on it. So that was interesting. But I also saw something else that showed, I wish I could have, I better not talk about it because I can't remember what it was, but it was showing something else that was supposed to be millions of years old or whatever. And it wasn't true. I don't remember what it was.
No worries. Y'all should be already see it on my screen. I'm gonna pull this up for everyone else. So this is from the Duke magazine, which is the university. It says, in defense of Darwin, evolution is again under attack as folly or immorality, with intellect design battling Darwinism in courts. One prominent lawyer has been conspicuously caught up in the fray. So I'm not going to read this whole thing, but I think this introduction couple paragraphs here is really interesting. So I'm going to go ahead and read that for you. So last fall, as prepared to take on the legal case of a lifetime, Eric Rothschild paid a visit to American Museum of Natural History in New York. His interest centered around a new exhibit on Charles Darwin. He walked past the starting and staring attraction, two living dome-shelled Galapagos turtles, the Bible and the pistol that Darwin brought aboard the HMS Beagle, artifacts like Darwin's schoolboy magnifying glass and the rock hammer that he used on geological expeditions as a university student, and curiosities like the skeleton of a giant anteater with a distinctive long nose that is strangely well suited for its feeding imperatives. Rothschild, 89, lingered over a Darwin sketch of the Tree of Life from his 1837 notebook. The sketch showed how species might evolve into new gradations. At the top, Darwin had written, "I think." So the reason why I want to show this is obviously it's very interesting that we have this person connected to Darwin. Now, I suggest y'all do your own research, but there is more links than that to Rothschild. His expedition on the HMS Beagle was funded by the Cambridge Network. And if you look into Cambridge Network, you will see this name come up. So, anyways, we talked about dinosaurs. Now, I have a question for y'all, because I'm a little... Now, I definitely don't believe as they describe is what it is. But if they are indeed finding, bones of these creatures, my first thought would then be that what we're actually looking at are some of those creatures that was created, in the Book of Enoch, Genesis 6, etc. What are y'all's thoughts about that? Do you think any of them exist? Kind of showing example of this doctor who does believe in, biblical cosmology, and him, saying, "Hey, I'm examining a triceratops." What are y'all's view about triceratops personally, or dinosaurs in general, I should say?
Well, there has been sightings in the what's the jungle in Africa, the real thick one,
the Congo.
Yeah, the Congo and the Everglades. Is that the Everglades? The Everglades are in Florida, right?
Yeah, Everglades are in Florida.
What's the real thick one in? They can't go so deep.
The Marianas Trench.
Nah, it's
ask the question again.
Forest is and all.
Where the what is?
Where the rainforest is.
The Amazon?
Yeah, the Amazon, that's it. Where the Amazon River is. Yeah, they said that they've seen like smaller creatures that resemble dinosaurs. And you have the Loch Ness Monster. That's been sighted over my whole lifetime. So I think they still could exist. Some species.
Yeah, I think it's possible. I think it's also possible, because we've obviously been lied to. If a globe has a radius of 3,986 miles, like there's only so much space, right? And if we have satellites, etc., like we can look at all this, stuff supposedly. So the reason why I bring that up is our world is much bigger than we really think, right? Technology kind of brings it down, but our world is so much bigger. So the thought to me that that creatures exist, that are like, let's just say, in what you're saying there is like, oh, this is, one of these left over. It also could be, unidentified species that have never been able to, been put on camera or been studied. Therefore, they're mythical creatures. However, I do agree that that it's possible that after the flood, that these creatures came about, and it wouldn't even surprise me if they were brought back during the Tower of Babel during Nimrod's time. So, yeah, interesting. What else were you gonna say?
Who, me? Oh, yeah, yeah, I definitely think there's some things that exist that we don't know, and they're hiding land. I truly believe they're hiding land. They probably have stuff set up that we don't even know about. So we lost Marsha, huh?
Yeah, she, thanks for being here, Marsha. Her husband has has throat cancer, so please, everyone out there, please say a prayer for him. He's starting to really feel the effects of chemo, and, Marsha's just wants to support her husband and his choices, and that's what she's been doing. But, everyone pray that, that the Father's will be done, and that, he would get healing. And it's not a fun situation to be in, obviously, so obviously pray for Marsha as well, that she can remain in good spirits and close with the Father, through these trying times. But anyways, so thank you for being here, Marsha. So yeah, it's
Yeah, I thought it was funny that he was calling him Doctor Wrong. You're wrong, Doctor Wrong. Yes, do pray for Marsha. I didn't want to be.
No, I feel
Cal.
No, yeah, we get it. No worries, brother. So yeah, I also had a picture of satellites. I don't have anything, directly there. We kind of already talked about the whole space thing, but I'm gonna jump over and kind of read some comments real quick, see what other people are chatting about, and say hello to some more people. Our dear sister Wendy joined us. Thank you for being here. We got Jeremy Pyers with us here. Welcome, brother. Chance is still with us. Welcome. And then I also saw Chance and Padre. Let's see here, and over on Take on the World. So thanks for being over there. Don't forget to thumbs up and share and comment and like. And like we always do, we're gonna read off the comments on the last videos at the end, which are getting pretty close to. But we still got a little bit of time left. But yeah, I just like Ezekiel. He and his people, the people that were, even though they were, a part of the tribulation that they went through, they still were surrounded by all of these, all of these other. All this other deceit, like we are now. They have different gods placed in front of them, different religions placed in front of them, and signs and symbols all around. And so it's pretty crazy. But I saw a couple interesting thoughts, and I tend to agree with them. So Chance said, I reckon dinosaurs or dragons were hybrids created by genetic modification when the Watchers sinned against all creation. Now, I'm thinking along the same lines, and I've kind of said this before. It's like if they're actually finding something in the ground, it's not millions of years old. It's from the flood. It's what was destroyed, and it makes so much sense, right? With all the telltale signs across the world of a global
and soft tissue would date it, not that old. I believe that too.
Yeah, thousands of years old, not millions of years. And so, but at the same time, right, like the people during Ezekiel's time was going through, very similar things. So, but yeah, great comment there, Chance. Let's see what else. Dinos are poop, dragons are dragons. Thank you, love. All the lies they teach just to hide Yah. They sure do. See, Wendy Moore, the word dinosaur was coined in the late 1800s before there were always called dragons. Totally. And it says, what do you guys know about unicorns? That it might be a rhino. Interesting. Dr. Wrong, nice burn. Yeah, so I kind of agree with Chance here. I think because rhinos and horses are very similar in genetic makeup, like they are labeled, at least in the modern scientific world, as cousins, and they have a very similar anatomy. Obviously, they have some differences. But yeah, it actually wouldn't surprise me too much that horses at one point had some type of horn or thing to defend themselves, but maybe over time or through breeding, that horn was lost. I don't know. It also could have been an interesting, that it's very propped up in the, kind of in the pop culture, unicorns. Maybe it again is one of those hybrid creations. So very interesting. Okay, sweet. All right, well, let's.
That is. Yeah, dragons. That is the old term for dinosaurs. It was all, and the Bible refers to drag. There's a missing. I think it's a chapter from Daniel that talks about dragons. I think it's chapter 13. Daniel has what, 12 chapters?
I can't think off the top of my head.
Yeah, I think it's the Catholic Bible. It had 13, and there in that last chapter it talked about how he fought the dragon, a literal dragon, like a dinosaur, whatever. Yeah, I thought I'd bring that up. All right. Hey, so you're going on a show. You want to plug that? About the moon landing?
Yeah, it's still tentative. For those that have ever watched Globebusters, one of the older members, he recently kind of disconnected with them. Rodrigo Fernandez, I think I totally butchered that, but so he has his channel, which there's links to it in our Discord. Again, Discord link is in the description. He is going to be covering the Artemis moon launch live. So I'll be on him on his channel with some of his other friends, and we're gonna talk about it as it's happening. So I will post some more information about that as we get closer. It's gonna happen, I believe, Monday evening. And other things. Wits It Gets It is now in a position where he's going to be able to come on for that debate. It's a little still a week or two, maybe a little bit longer than that off. But we're getting very close to that, so look forward to that debate. Again, that is a preterist for and against debate. So talking about 70 AD. And so look forward to that. And then again, we have shorts coming out every Wednesday. If you have an idea or something that you would like for us to cover, the best way to do it is to put those comments on the shorts itself. Say, hey, would love to see this. And that would be a good place for me to kind of be able to go back to and find those topics to start making some shorts about. So, yeah, go check those out. Show them some love. Thank you, wife, for doing the voiceovers for that. You have a very beautiful voice, so I hope y'all are enjoying that as well. But yeah, let's go ahead and do the final kind of housekeeping before we call it a stream. So let me pull this up. Get rid of this. Perfect. All right, so obviously you're here if you're here, but if you're over on Taking the World, you watch this later, you don't know, we also have our own channel. It is Circle of the Earth Fellowship. So if you haven't subscribed and you'd love to help us support, it is totally free to subscribe. We have our streams every week. As well as that upcoming content, the 70-80 debate, and as well as the shorts. So subscribe there if you like our content and you'd like to get more and get notified about it. It really does help us out. Along with that is leaving comments, liking the video, all that jazz. So we got two comments on the Circle of the Earth Fellowship YouTube. First one is from Windfeather, dear sister. She said, love y'all, Mapacha, which is family. Thanks for reading and study. Shabbat shalom, everyone. Thank you, sister, for your comment and your kind words. And then Kayla Brooks showing 58:15. Always love this part of the Bible. So powerful and beautiful. So definitely go check that out if you haven't. And then again, shout out Chris and Liz over there on Taking the World. They are going to be doing some a conference this year, though it's going to be a digital conference, and I will be doing an hour presentation there. So check out takeontheworldconference.com for more information as we get closer to that. I'm pretty excited about that as well. But yeah, thank y'all for letting us share our puzzle pieces with y'all's family. And if y'all don't know, Take on the World has things going on all week. So Mondays is Disputed Lands, Tuesdays is Sounds Off, Wednesdays is Sit Rep Resistance, Thursdays is Flat Out Insights. Of course, we are on Fridays, and Ian Fiducci does his typically on Saturdays. But we also have the Way Remnant. Now, I'm actually really excited about this. This Sunday, they are going to be talking with Fritz Springmeier, who I'm actually a big fan of. I bought his book, Nephilim, Fallen Angels in the Ohio Valley, which gives accounts of the 1800s and 1900s in the Ohio Valley of the mound builders and them excavating giant skeletal remains, as well as relics, tools, weapons, etc. So he's going to be coming on over there, so check him out on Sunday. That's going to be really exciting. I'm pretty pumped for that. And that's super exciting that he got Fritz on. So he also read a lot of other great books, 13 Bloodlines of the Numinati. He talked a lot about the MK Ultra and deprogramming people. So anyways, but on the video, last one, 30 Overcome, we got a couple comments. One from my beautiful wife, the debate is going to be fire. Yes, I am super stoked for it. And then Moongo said, looking forward to the debate. Yes, I am. Thank you for the show. It's an epic journey through the word. Well, I'm glad you feel that way, and thank you for the love. And so really appreciate you all that you continue to support and love and show kindness and share all the things. But the best way to do that is through Discord. Now, in Discord we have a whole bunch of different topics. And remember, if you've joined a Discord before associated with this YouTube, we have a new YouTube Discord So make sure to check that out and join if you haven't joined. But yeah, we talk throughout the week. People post videos. They give you notifications to a lot of popular streamers. When we've all gone through that no notification, get there an hour late because it's already been streaming. And so great place there. We show memes, we share recipes, and a whole bunch of great stuff. So obviously the more people there, the more people that can share, the more puzzle pieces available for our family to look at. So really hope y'all would join us if you're interested. But yeah, that's all the housekeeping that we got for today. So at this point, we can go ahead and start saying our goodbyes. Just me and Frankie here. I want to shout out Nick. Thank you for joining us for the time that you did. As well to you, Marsha. We would love you dearly, brother and sister. So it's only two of us, so this won't take very long, and we can get out. We can groove out to and end it on Dig Deep. But before going too further, I'll go ahead and let you say your goodbyes, Frankie.
Yeah, it was a good show. I just want to bless everyone. I just hope everyone has a great week. Yeah, our set list tomorrow is it's an epic song that me and Nick wrote together. I wrote the music. Me and Nick wrote the words, and Nick found the melody. It's called "What Did We Miss?" It's about the timeline, Tartaria, the orphan trains. A little bit of preterism mixed in it. It's a really good song. It's about 7 minutes. It's our longest song. Then we're doing Your Reality, which the chorus is, as a man thinks, so is he. What you see is your reality. And then the second half of the song, we go on a positive spin. As a man thinks, so is he. What you see yourself living in victory. And then the third song is Stoke the Fire, because God is a consuming fire, and we have the fire of God in us, so we have to stoke it. And we might do Torah of Love if we get a fourth song, or Dig Deep. So I'm actually going to practice Dig Deep when you play it, so looking forward to that. So I just hope everybody has a blessed week. And we'll let you know when we post it up on YouTube or Instagram so you can check out our show. Everybody be blessed. Have a great week.
Sweet. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for that, brother, and thanks for being here. And yeah, everyone, I hope you enjoyed the show and all the little different deceits that each of us kind of fell for at some point in our lives that we came back to and found the truth of. And again, I just want to remind you, we're not all, this isn't an echo chamber. We don't all believe in the exact same thing, and we don't need to still be brothers and sisters of ABBA. So, and we're all different. We're all on different parts of the path towards the Father. So we don't, the scripture, don't worry about someone having a speck in their eye when you have a log in your own. We're not here to tell people they're wrong in anything other than love. If we disagree, it's going to be in love. And by that, iron sharpens iron. And again, that requires heat, friction, and the removal of material. So, when you're discussing topics that are controversial, there's going to be heat. And, between you and the people that disagree, that's going to cause friction. But if y'all walk as loving brothers and sisters, what that's going to do is it's going to start to remove those unneeded, unwanted pieces so that you can be sharpened. So hopefully we helped you, sharpened you a little bit today. And if you feel like you can sharpen us or sharpen, the channel, we'd love to have you on. So again, check out the Discord, and we hope you have, a great Shabbat. And for those that, keep it, and, hope you have a good rest of your week coming up. But other than that, guys, have a great night. And here is Born Out of Time, Dig Deep.
Beautiful.
conceal a mystery. You give us the honor to search a matter out. You raise up a standard to beat back our enemy. You establish this realm, and like a scroll you spread it out. Dig deep, search it out. Dig deep, seek it out. Dig deep, go on and walk it out. Dig deep, I give you oil to fill up your cup. I give you enough to fill